Greetings everybody, in this video I'm going to yap and ramble about why Virtual Crisis is probably one of the best events Kuro Games has ever introduced in Wuthering Waves at this moment. So during the duration of this video I'm going to explain the mechanics briefly of how Virtual Crisis works, then I'm going to get into why I find it so much fun and how it needs to be a staple of Wuthering Waves, and I hope they keep refreshing the rewards every patch or every other patch, because Virtual Crisis was introduced in 2.2 for the first time, then reintroduced in 2.4. So for the mechanics, I'm just going to explain. In order to get all the modifiers, you have to complete, I think, 8 levels to unlock all the modifiers. Then you can go into Disaster Trials to enable said modifiers to make each boss fight significantly harder. But you also do get a couple buffs from the modifiers. Now, I'll throw up a few modifiers that you use in the Disaster Trial because the goal is to get to, I think, 148 stars for it, and you unlock a nameplate that displays how far you got into Disaster Trials or Virtual Crisis. Now, after you complete all of the regular Virtual Crisis levels, you will unlock Disaster Trials with all the modifiers. Now, there are 5 levels for Disaster Trials. Each one has a different boss, and the final Disaster Trial has one main boss and spawning a bunch of different other bosses while you're fighting that boss. And I think it is the best thing I've ever done in Wuthering Waves. It is so much fun fighting all these different bosses at the same time. Now, here's an honorable mention for Disaster Trials. If you take Cartethyia into the second boss fight for Disaster Trials, it creates a singularity because you are fighting Fleur-de-Lis. It makes the boss fight significantly harder to complete, but you still do it if you have a properly built Cartethyia team and you have a decent enough skill in the game. But that does not mean to say 1, 3, and 4 are bad. They're still great levels to do with all modifiers on. Virtual Crisis is just the best event you can play in Wuthering Waves right now. Now, another thing about Virtual Crisis is that makes it so good is the fact that you can use it to test new teams that you got if you want to test how the build's going with all the modifiers on. Because you can get all the rewards and keep challenging the bosses over and over and over again with different teams, or you can use the trial characters that they give you, which is also a great option which will allow you to clear it. But I think it's easier when you use your own teams because the trial character teams are very not that well built, if I'm being completely honest. But I find Virtual Crisis like the perfect thing to test new builds. Like, let's say you pulled Lupa and you want to test Brant, Changli, and Lupa. It's the perfect game mode to do that with all the modifiers up. I'm just going to reiterate everything that I said about why I like Virtual Crisis. The trial characters are fun to play, but they're really not that well built. But regardless, it's still fun to play. Virtual Crisis has a lot of replayability because you use it to test new teams, new builds, or how your builds are currently doing. All 5 levels of Disaster Trials are extremely fun to complete. If you want extra challenge, you can do max difficulty on level 2, the Fleur-de-Lis fight with a Cartethyia team. That's fun to do. The level 5 is just boss spam, which is really fun to do. If you've got a good build, you'll just clean that level out really fast. But Virtual Crisis needs to be a mainstay of Wuthering Waves from this point on, and I hope Kuro Games actually does that. And they don't even have to give rewards for it. They can just give 200 asteroids every patch, and I'd be happy. But really, that's all to this video. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I know it's really short, but I greatly appreciate it. If you like the video, please subscribe. I'm going to keep uploading videos as much as I can when I have time. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.